Hey guys, Monkey here again. Just going over my latest project. I apologize for the poor lighting here, but that's the subject of the lighting. As you can see above me, I've got a fixture kind of torn apart and it dawned on me, maybe I should show you guys how to do it. By watching this video, you do waive all liability from myself or Monkey's Man Cave on any damages and or injuries. Now, I always encourage, being an electrician, I always encourage to verify the voltage is off. One way to do that is either a pin light or an actual tester. Actual tester is a way to go because then you're definitely safe. A pin light works great. You can pick them up in any hardware store, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that. They're usually under 20 bucks and they work fairly well. You just touch them to the wire. In this case, I know the power's off. Being an electrician is kind of one of those things that you just learn how to know. Basically what you have here, as you see here, is the old ballast. Now the old ballast actually drew 0.8 amps. Not much. Average person, okay, 0.8 amps, big deal. Downside to these lights is when it's cold, they don't fire. They sit there and they flicker and they drive you nuts and they hum, and it's enough to drive a man to drinking. Basically what you do is go in and you can see how short I've cut those wires. Again, with power off, you'll just cut the wires and you'll leave them hanging out, kind of just like that. Strip the ends and I'll explain to you how to hook them up. Same thing here. You can see wires cut. Kind of hard being up on a ladder to get you an exact shot. This is the new ballast right here. Basically, it is a T-8, F32 T-8 four lamp ballast. Now you can do two individual 2-lamp ballasts. I like just doing one 4-lamp ballast. It's easier, makes more sense to me. It is just that. With these, I always recommend leaving the black and the white wire, which is your hot and your neutral. I always recommend leaving those disconnected until you are completely finished with the other wiring. What you have here, as I'm going to set you down on the ladder so you can see, is you'll see you have two bundles of wire here. One with 2 blues and a yellow in this hand, and one with 2 reds and a yellow in this hand. Basically, you just need to make sure that you end up with the yellows and blues on the opposite sides. So the yellow and the blue from the one bundle will go across like this. The blues will attach to the colors, and I'll shoot a secondary video for that, but this is just part 1. So watch for part 2, you will see it. They'll go up about the same time, but it is just that. Now on this end over here, if I get my finger out of the way of the camera there, this end over here, same thing. You'll take the reds and the whites, you'll attach the reds onto the reds and blues. So basically you'll have 2 red wires there and 2 blue wires. These are off the fixture itself. It is not off of the ballast. So basically what I'll do is I'll take the 2 red wires and set you down again. I'll take those 2 red wires that are still in my hand and I'll attach them to one of the red wires that comes off of the ballast. Give it a couple good twists. Now what I always recommend doing is actually take each individual wire and just give it a slight tug. When you're good, you're good. Take the other red wire off the ballast. Take the 2 blue wires off again that side of the fixture, and you will tie them together the same way. I know it doesn't make sense having the reds go to the blues and the blue, on the other side it'll be the same, but it's just the way the fixture is wired. Being you're doing an upgrade, you'll get significant amount of more lighting out of it, and you'll also end up with lower power bills. Now this is the part that will really throw people off. Off the same side that I just got the red and blue on that side, you will take the yellow from the blue wires. Okay, and you'll take that guy and you'll tie it in with the 2 yellows off of that side. Both yellows do get connected in, bear with me. And again, please verify that each connection is good. You'll want to tug on all 3 wires. Now what you'll want to do, let me turn that to where you can see a little bit better, is you'll want to take those wires, and don't worry, they're actually fairly, I won't say hard to damage, but they'll take a little bit of abuse. What you want to do is just take and bundle them together because you do have a center cover that fits fairly snug. Just kind of squeeze. I always use the yellow wire. Why I use the yellow wire, I don't know. I think it's just because it's longer. But just take the yellow wire, wrap it around it once, like so. you can see, and it holds the wire still. You'll notice that I still have my black and my white hanging out here. Again, those are the last to be connected. Okay, let's move on to the other side here. I'm going to set it just a little bit further down so you can get a better visual. This ballast up here is held in by one nut. So basically you'll want to get your hand under it, unscrew that screw completely. Now no, the other side is supported by slide-in straps, so you don't have to worry about that. What you'll want to do is you'll want to take that ballast out, dispose of it properly. In my case, I recycle them. In some people's cases, they give them to electricians to recycle, and or if they're still good, give them to friends to use. Okay, what we have over here, again, the two blue wires. I will take one of the two blues to the two reds from the other side. And again, the reason we do that is they're tied together at the tombstone. The part that the light clips into is actually called the tombstone. Now we will take the blue, the other blue, off the ballast and attach it to the two blue wires. Now if you're ever curious, you can actually snap off the little bracket that holds the tombstones, and that'll tell you for sure how your old fixture is wired. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I'll respond to them as quickly as possible. Here's the two yellow wires and the one from the ballast. And again, what I do, take and twist those guys together like so. Bundle them all together. And again, I don't know why I use the yellow wire, just force of habit. It really doesn't matter. You can use a zip tie, you can use whatever you want. I just wrap the wires around themselves. And it's mostly just to keep it out of the way. Now, the part that you need to verify. Make sure, again, you might want to double check to make sure power's off. Again, I know power's off, not an issue. So what I'll do, start with the white wire. White wires first, always. Reason for it is that it is a return path. While getting electrocuted sucks, and I don't recommend it, it sucks even more when it's on the load, which would be the neutral side. Basically, real easy way to hurt yourself. Okay, now last step, verify that the black is dead, which in this case, again, I know that it is. And what you want to do is go and connect it in. Make sure it's good and tight. And tuck the wires up. Then you'll take your cover, and these guys are kind of a pain to put on. You got to kind of wedge them in from each side. So the way I do it is just kind of take the bundle of wires, just keep pushing up, guiding them on top of it until the whole mess of wires, or spaghetti as a lot of people like to call it, is up inside the tray. Okay, now from here, the actual tray is held in. You can see right here, there's a little clip. Right about there, there's a little clip. Now what you want to do, start on one side and just line all three of them up. Sometimes there's only two, but generally there are three. Okay, now just give it a good squeeze and push up at the same time, and it'll clip in this side over here. Do that to all three, and you're set. Be right back with the light bulbs. Alrighty, I am back. What I do recommend is anytime you place new ballast inside of a fixture that you use new light bulbs. Two reasons. One, I've had manufacturers tell me, well, you didn't put in new light bulbs, we're not warranting it. You never want to be in that scenario. Basically, it's as simple as buying new light bulbs, snapping them in. Once the ballast has been fired, then you can go through and put the old ones back in if you really want to. I don't know, as cheap as these things are, I can't really justify not putting new ones in. You can pick them up at any Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places that you have. Now the light bulbs I am using right now are the 700 series. Reason I use the 700 series, and if you want real bright, go to the 850s. The 750s are just kind of what I like to see. Now they're not super bright, they're not dim. They're definitely a lot more bright than the brightest T-12 that I know of. And again, being an electrician, I've worked with quite a few. Normally this process would go a lot quicker, but walk you through step by step, it kind of kind of takes a little bit of time. The amateur should be able to do this in about half an hour or so. Now let me... Alrighty, now if you can see the kind of purplish in this light bulb here, I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but there's a little bit of purple, a little bit of wave. Now that can happen when you first put them in. Don't be paranoid, it is normal. Let them run for about 5 minutes, and they should kick up to full brightness. As you can see here, further out in the garage, I've still got some T-12s that are running. I'm probably going to let them run until the ballast dies. This is Monkey with Monkey's Man Cave. Thank you for watching. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Take care.